Once again, welcome to my channel. We are still on the issue of this Kenyan election that has passed. It has taught me many things in terms of how this generation is perceiving how a country, how a nation should operate. We have a very fun generation that does not value the battles that our forefathers have fought to be where we are. We have inherited a nation with the foundations which we are taking them for granted. For example, many of the Kenyans have heard them insulting Raila Amollo Odinga, the person who fought before most of this generation were born, the person who went to detention for 10 years, the person who missed the burial of his mother while in the detention, and he was not detained by the white people. He was detained by fellow Kenyans. He was detained by the Moi regime, the Kanu regime. When Raila Odinga was being detained, when Raila Odinga was fighting for multipartyism, it is at this time the person we are celebrating today, William Samoei Ruto, was enjoying the Kanu and the leadership of Moi by organizing himself direct from university to young thugs alongside the likes of Jirogo. They administered the suffering of those who were fighting for democracy, those who were fighting for change, for constitutional changes, reviewing of Section 2A that brought about multipartyism. These are the people we are mocking today, the likes of Koingi Wamweli. We buried Kennedy Matiba the other day, Charles Rubia the other day. The people who said no, 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 Kenya must change. These are the people we must bow to politically. When we are celebrating heroes of the nation of Kenya, these are the people we should never forget. In the books of our history, these are the landmarks of the changes. And we risk watering down because it is said history repeats itself. We are not far away from whatever was happening back 1980s, back 1990s, that is 1992. During the times of Moi chambers, the Nyayo chambers, where people were tortured, fellow countrymen were tortured. Those who said no to neocolonialism, they were tortured. Now, we are mocking them. Election is meant for the people to decide. Election is not aimed at mocking or dividing a nation. If you look at the previous election, the 2002 election, the election we have had just the other day in Kenya, it was 50-50. Kenya is into two for the front runners, Raila Amollo Odinga and William Ruto. If we were to celebrate the way most of this generation want us to approach this election by dividing the winners and the losers, definitely we will end up with a divided nation. This is a victory for all. And it is in that line we encourage all the leaders to adhere to the constitution, follow the law, and the persona of Raila Amollo Odinga is the last person to abuse the law. He is enjoying the foundations of what he himself built for this nation. He has ensured we have constitutional changes that William Ruto has objected. before. It is his time to enjoy those what he fought for. Everybody, every young Kenyan should be watching and learning why we need strong foundation, why we need strong legal frameworks, why we need strong democratic ways and policies, that even in such election where we have 6 million supporting you and 6 million supporting your opponent, you can expound all the legal frameworks and the Kenyans will honor that. No Kenyan is ready to go to fight. That we are past guerrilla war approach. We are not picketing anymore, though it is our right, but we know the consequences. So we continue to encourage Raila Amollo Odinga, pursue all the legal means, teach this generation what it means for a nation, teach this generation why we need a working legal framework, a working judiciary that can make decisions in weighty matters like election, like determining legality or illegality of procedures and processes that are used, that are laid down in our constitution. It is something to celebrate as a nation, something that we should encourage. On the pre-pro, we can say, suppose Ruto and lost, and he is going to Supreme Court. If we sit in those dynamics, I think now we strike the middle ground that any person who is angry in this nation should be able to go to our judiciary and get legal interpretation and get justice and be at peace with each other. Kenya, we are blessed. Kenya is a blessed nation. We cannot forget our history, because if we forget history, it will definitely repeat itself. This generation needs to read history, page to page, understand when we have a dark history, what made us move out of the dark history, where when you dealt with the high authority, you were found murdered, you were found like dumped in forest. We know Hoko, we know Bishop Magu. People who fought against Moi, they were killed. J.M. Kariuki, Tom Mboya. The list is too long to be ignored. But we thank God, through the effort and the fight of the Kenyans, whom God has blessed us to be with to this day. We thank God that Kenya can stand in a hot-heated election and the peace prevail. Is something that cannot be wished away. International media can see what they want to see. They were there to point out any placards, to point out any iota of violence. They tried their best. But thank God, Kenya has matured. Kenya is where we are because of who we are and because of the people who have gone ahead of us. Starting from Mau fighters, people who fought out the white people, who chased them away. People who said, we have matured, we can rule ourselves. We should celebrate them. Thank God we have Raila Amollo Odinga in our nation. And I pray God to give him more strength, that the rule of law will not be abused until we have persona of his character to take the mantle after him. Person who can stand and say, no, jail me, kill me, my no is my no. It is no. Raila is a winner, is a victor. Raila cannot be termed in any way in the Kenyan terrain as a loser. Raila cannot be defined in the same sentence with the word loss. He is a fighter. Once a fighter, always a fighter. Kenyans, let's celebrate this hero, Engima, the father of democracy, the fighter. And let's have that spirit sink in us, young generation, that we might and that we will, and that we will have the determination to absorb that spirit in our heart, in our minds, and take the mantle and observe the rule of law. This generation needs to read more than being carried away by social media. The way it is happening, we have become Twitters, Instagrams, Facebookers. We are innovating around social media. We have ignored the indecisiveness of learning, reading. But we thank God, all is not lost. There is hope. God bless Kenya. God bless the leadership of this nation. God bless Raila Amollo Odinga. God bless William Samuel Ruto. God bless everyone in this nation. Kenya is blessed. Kenya will be blessed. Kenya will remain blessed. Thank you. Hallelujah.